I have kind of three different areas I could touch on that. I think one of the reasons, I think both from an academic and one from an academic purpose and one more from practical. I think one of the reasons we started WIMI was we started noticing, especially the downturn in the economy had an impact on this. At the end of the day, there were many students that went into finance and consulting, partly because of the lure, partly because of herding behavior, but there was a lot of economic benefit to such jobs. And now that that became more difficult, I think people were saying, look, let's think more broadly about careers. And so if what you mean is marketing is the new finance, what I think is consumer packaged goods companies, those are good jobs. Those are good, stable jobs. I worked at DuPont in a corporate marketing role. It's a great job. It's great to work for a great company. But the sexy, most appealing jobs today, they're in interactive media. So if you ask me, is marketing the new finance? Here's what I will say. I think interactive media at major business schools will get its share of top flight people. We will not be a third leg for those people that can't do finance or consulting or don't want to do it. We want to bring interactive media up on the same level and pedestal as very worthy jobs in finance and consulting. So we really want to be that other option for people that are quantitatively oriented or are data oriented. There are quantitative jobs in the interactive media space, and as a matter of fact, Google is probably the premier company that recognizes the value of quantitatively oriented people to understand their data patterns. And so that's from the academic side. Now, from the practical side, here's what I would say. A lot of companies today are working on what are things called marketing dashboards. In other words, what is the things that the CEO, the CMO, the CFO should be looking at over time? At the end of the day, marketing, the data that comes off of individual level user behavior, those are the things that are going to track firm value in the long run. At the end of the day, how do you compute firm value? It's discounted cash flow. Well, where do the cash flows come from? The cash flows come from consumers. Where do you estimate cash flows from consumers? You estimate them from the individual level data that consumers leave as an imprint through interactive media. That's why I don't see what I do as just, I'm a statistician that does forecasting. Well, what's the result of that forecasting? It's an estimate of the customer lifetime value, which is an estimate of your future cash flows, which is an estimate of firm value. And so I think marketing is being recognized for that now. In other words, it's the link to the customer. And the other thing I would say is, as Wharton, as a school, as we're going through a redesign of our curriculum, I don't think it's any there's nothing hidden that we're thinking about a major redesign of our curriculum, and we in the marketing department think about what is it that we own. In other words, what intellectually does marketing own that isn't in finance or operations or accounting? We own the customer, meaning lots of other people own the firm side. Like, what should a firm optimally do? Marketing owns the customer. Our job in marketing is to understand customer behavior. I build what I say is mathematical models of customer behavior. That's what I do for a living. And so I think, is marketing the new finance? I think interactive media and marketing we will get our fair share of quantitatively oriented students. And I'd say thank God for the Googles and the interactive media firms of the world, because they've created exciting jobs that students really do want to take.